Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 17 of the News Just News weekly roundup. I'm your host for today. My name is Lucia, and I'm a writer at News Just News. And once again, I'm joined by Anna. Hello, Anna.
Hi.
And by Adam.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of entertainment stories, but as usual, you can go on our website, newsjustnews.com, and you can find all of the stories that we're going to discuss today, and many, many other stories on politics, society, economics, anything you'd like, written by our fabulous team of writers from all over the world. And we are starting today with one huge story, which, if you've been on the internet, you have definitely seen. It's about Timothée Chalamet. Obviously, he has been kind of like the center of a huge controversy because he has said some very unflattering things about opera and ballet. So he was basically at a live conversation with fellow actor Matthew McConaughey, and he was speaking for Variety, and they were discussing about how cinema is kind of like in danger of being a dying art. And we discussed this on the pod before. Basically, cinema is now kind of like being considered something that has to catch the attention of the viewer. And so they were discussing about the fact that sometimes now they're just skipping, like movies nowadays are just skipping the first act in order to get to the action so that people can get into, the movie quicker and grab their attention. And Timothy was saying that he is usually, supportive of this, but at the same time, he kind of like prefers when movies are just like slower paced, if that's what the director or the writers of the movie want. And he actually made an example for this. He talked about Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro, who was just released, which was just released on Netflix. And then he said that at the same time, he would like cinema not to ever become a dying art because he really cares about this medium of art. And he said that he doesn't want it to have the same destiny as opera and ballet, because more specifically he said opera, but he said no one cares about that stuff anymore. And obviously everyone in the room laughed and they made light of the comment, but he realized straight away that he said something a bit extreme, because he even said, I just lost 14 cents in viewership, and the opera people are just gonna come at me now. Obviously this has been met with laughter during the event, but at the same time it then caused like a huge backlash online. So the opera community, the ballet community, really went for him, and they started to say that he was really disrespectful and that he shouldn't have said something like that, because these are not dying art. And loads of people in the industry, in those specific industries, still obviously care about what they're doing. We had, for example, backlash from Misty Copeland, who's a really important ballet dancer. She's actually due to perform at the Oscars as well, and we're going to talk about this later as well. And she said that basically he shouldn't have said anything like that, because the opportunities that he's had are also thanks to the opera and the ballet community, or in general from the theatre community. People pointed out that he did Wonka, which is a musical. So once again, something that is connected to this. And he also comes from a family of dancers, because his sister, his mother, and his grandmother all were ballet dancers. So it's, coming from someone who really shouldn't be saying anything like that. We had comments from Doja Cat, who said that opera exists for, has always been here like for 500 years. Ballet has been here for 400 years. And dancers care, singers care, all of the people that work in the industry still care about it. And she just said, maybe you should learn something from it. So we had like really huge names talking about it. Someone even made light of it. So we had the Seattle Opera that even offered a promo code called Timothy on their latest show to get like cheap discounts. And so it was kind of like, as I said at the beginning, something that if you've been on the internet in the past week or so, you've definitely seen it. And it comes at kind of like an unfortunate moment for Timmy, because obviously he's nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars, and it seems like loads of people turned on him. So this has been something that's been really popular. And Anna, what do you think? Since you're very well involved into the theatre entertainment part of the entertainment, what do you think about it?
I will admit, when I saw the video, I threw my phone across the room. I think it was an extremely disrespectful remark to make, especially considering he did begin a lot in theater as well. So I think it's disrespectful. He knows that. What I'm loving is the response from opera singers and ballet singers and ballet dancers alike. I think it's quite beautiful. But I mean, it really does just point out a lot of irony when it comes to celebrities as well. And film, we've talked a lot about how film has been kind of simplified in the way it's written to keep audiences engaged, but opera and ballet kind of goes against that whole idea. It forces you to sit in the theater. There's theater etiquette. You can't go on your phone. You can't record. It's this sacred thing that forces you to truly appreciate the art. So yeah, it's just a bit like interesting hearing that from a film actor. Although he does Dune was like 3 hours long. But yeah, I think he's gonna lose quite a lot from this, including probably his Oscar win for Marty Supreme. So I guess your actions have consequences. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I feel like, even though it's not obviously the audience that votes at the Oscars, I feel like loads of people from inside the industry probably got, kind of like offended by the comment, because as you mentioned, it's quite a disrespectful thing to say, especially even if he did it, very lightheartedly, which I think that's how he was hoping that it would come across, but it wasn't, and it wasn't at all like perceived that way. And I feel it's a delicate topic as well, because we know that theaters and opera and ballet, they have been struggling a lot, even more than cinema maybe, with keeping shows going, and with keeping audiences coming to the theater. And even making a comment like this, actually, I mean, maybe he didn't want it to be, disrespectful in any way, but it might have been positive for opera and ballet, because now loads of people would be kind of like, pushed to say, actually, no, we do care about this. We want to go see it. We will spend the money, and yeah, we'll just do it. What do you think, Adam?
I do think I think especially the way he said it and sort of saying it in a jokey way, I do think it is a bit disrespectful. But then I also can sort of see the other side of what he means of, as you were saying before, like, these are struggling arts. I can understand why he wouldn't want to go into a profession where, even just the industry itself is struggling to survive. So I can definitely see that side of it of, it takes so much work, and I think there's a lot to go in to sort of keep it surviving rather than thriving. Whereas films, people, even if people aren't going to the cinema as much, the Netflix streaming, all of that is still such a big thing where you're probably going to find work, and you're probably going to make a lot of money from it as well, and see that sort of success, and especially mainstream success, I think. So I do see what he means as well.
Now we are, passing to the next article, and we're still going to stay inside of the theater, because we have now a story about Moulin Rouge and about a new production that's going to take place in Broadway, and Anna's going to tell all us about it.
Yeah, so very exciting news that kind of connects, or it's a good segue from the Timmy story. But Moulin Rouge, it's been on Broadway now since 2023. It's been a highly successful Broadway musical, and it is going to make its final season on Broadway on July 26th. It's still touring around in Perth, and it's on the West End as well. But after such a successful run, it's a sad thing to see. But we're getting really exciting news out of these last few months that it will be on Broadway. The one and only Megan Thee Stallion is going to be playing the role of Harold Zidler in the musical, and it's a very historic casting because Zidler is kind of this huge role in the musical, but in all of the years, Moulin Rouge is a classic. All of the years, it's been played by a male actor. So this is going to mark the first female identifying actor to play the role, which is so exciting. Bob the drag queen is currently playing Zidler on Broadway, and it's been an incredible run. So this is going to be a really interesting change. So she'll be performing from March 24th to May 17th, and it's exciting. And we've seen a lot of celebrities joining the Broadway stage. We saw it very promptly with Sabrina Carpenter and Mean Girls. Then COVID hit. We've seen Peyton List on Heathers at the moment. A lot of celebrities have joined, which has caused some backlash in the past, especially when it comes to those who have trained years and years just for their role to be replaced by a celebrity. But in this case, I do think Megan Thee Stallion is going to, do a really good job. And I'm so excited about it. Not only because it's such a historic casting, but it's also a great way to end off such a successful run. So yeah, keep an eye on that. It's gonna be really exciting, and I can't wait to see the promo photos and videos once they come out.
I think it's a really cool choice, actually. Not just because now we have a woman playing that role, but also because I feel like she would be really good at it. It's such an iconic character inside of the show, and I think she'd be amazing. But like you said, it's usually something that causes quite a bit of controversy, and that also happens when they do musicals, but like in movie versions, and they always have backlash when they cast just like a popular actor who happens to be able to sing rather than having an actual theater kid or like a Broadway actor. And I remember, for example, this was like ages ago, but I remember when Les Miserables came out, and there was this like huge backlash because they cast Anne Hathaway or Russell Crowe, and obviously it was a hugely successful movie, but at the same time not every performance was great. So unfortunately it's one side of this kind of production, but then at the same time, when you have the big name, that having the big name will help with selling tickets and stuff. So that'll be also very interesting to see. But I don't think that there's going to be any issues with Megan Thee Stallion. She's such a huge name, and I think it'll be really grand. And now that we are talking about music, Adam is going to tell us about Eurovision, because we have finally we know finally who's going to be the the representative of the UK for the Eurovision. So Adam, can you tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. So the UK's Eurovision entry has been announced with the music, the video it's going to be. So it's a bit of an odd name, Look Mum No Computer. But again, Eurovision, you want to have those names that people can remember as well. And the song is Eins, zwei, drei, so 1, 2, 3 in German. So already getting the European vibes there as well. And I listened to this. I really liked it. And so 70th Eurovision is going to take place in May in Vienna. And yeah, it's going to be this song, and it's quite an electronic sounding song, quite indie, but it's also, so obviously the name is in German and that's the chorus, eins, zwei, drei, but then it's very British at the same time. There's all of these, it's very British sounding. You know how some singers sing in a British accent? It's very that. And there's a lot of references to British culture, like baked beans. So, I mean, it's classic Eurovision, obviously.
I mean, the UK usually does not have a very lucky history in Eurovision. Like every year, they tend to get to classify kind of like the very bottom of the of the at the end, basically. But maybe this is the revelation that we were waiting for, and we're gonna see the UK having a lot of success this year. Maybe I've seen a meme online saying that the German entry, like their song, actually has less German words than the song by UK, which I found really funny. Anna, do you watch Eurovision every year? And is it something that you're interested in? What do you think?
I do watch it, and I'm really excited about this one because I have a really good feeling about this UK entry. My boss actually showed it to me the other day because I was not aware of it, and I watched the music video, and wow, guys, the music video is incredible. And Adam, like you were saying, there's so many references to British culture, like the digestive biscuits and baked beans and this and that. But it's just, I love the vibe. It's so different. It's so alternate, and I love the techno and every aspect of it. And it's a very unique edition this year. And I don't know, I'm putting my money on it. I think it's gonna be really successful. I have a good feeling.
We usually there's a very important music competition in Italy that takes place in February, and it's called Sanremo. And usually the person who wins that goes to Eurovision. In the past, we've had, as the Italian entry, obviously, in the past, we've had quite a bit of success because we had, I don't know if you guys remember any of them, but we had Mahmoud, who was a really big name in Eurovision. And I think he got on pretty well. He went for a couple of times. This year, the guy who won Sanremo is a 57-year-old man who has a neo-melodic song sang partly in Neapolitan. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think Italy's going to do very well this year. But hopefully the UK, will have success. And to conclude today's episode, once again, if you'd like to read about these stories and more, you can go on our website, newsjustnews.com. I am going to let the stage to Adam, who's going to talk about a viral video that has been seen by loads of people, but has been very awkward about the McDonald's CEO. What has happened? Tell us, Adam.
So, I mean, it's another one of them. If you've been on the internet, you've probably seen the memes, you've probably seen the video. Basically, McDonald's CEO, Chris Kempczynski, it's one of them American Polish names. No, they pronounce wrong, so. But yeah, anyway, he's meant to be a lovely, authentic promotional video for the new Big Arch burger. It's been in the UK for a while, but I think it's just coming to the US as a new product. There's that word, product. He basically, throughout this video, he's like, this is a really delicious product. Doesn't call it a burger, doesn't call it food, calls it product. And then he's like, I'm going to take a big bite of this Big Arch burger. He takes the tiniest, most timid bite of this burger, and obviously everyone online is roasting him. People are comparing it to like Krusty Burger from The Simpsons, the adverts where he spits it out at the end afterwards, and then the SpongeBob meme where his teeth just take the tiniest bite. And then obviously all of the other burger CEOs have come in. The marketing teams have got on it, and Burger King straight on it, Wendy's, I'm sure a few others as well, where they take more than a few bites of their burgers.
I mean, it's really funny. Like you said, it's been everywhere on the internet. So if you have been on any social media in the past week or so, you've definitely seen it. and it's very, very funny. And the fact that he calls it product really does not make you want to eat it, because it could be anything. And I just found it hilarious. Did you see it, Anna, as well?
I did see it, and it is hilarious. I mean, like you were saying, Lucia, the fact it's a product. Right, okay. And then, he always looks afraid to take a bite, and it definitely doesn't bring me any confidence to try this burger. It's not available in South Africa yet, so I don't have the opportunity to do so. But if it were to come down here, I'm not feeling so great about it. So I'm loving Wendy's and Burger King, though, kind of profiting off of it, though. Great marketing strategy.
It's really cool, yeah, that they just, jumped on the boat and went, you know what, I know how I can make this work for my company. So that's a really cool thing from their side. Okay, so we are concluding today's episode. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for, staying here with us. You can, once again, check all of the stories on newsjustnews.com. Thank you, Anna, and thank you, Adam. And we'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.